Hello everybody, this is Stephen Howson, this is Full Time Devils. United lost 2-0 at the Emirates and it was a pretty poor showing all around, wasn't it? And I think what made it worse was the little glimmer of hope that we had with the Liverpool result being earlier than ours and them coming in and them looking like they was going to open the door for us to get into that top four a little bit by not getting a result earlier today. But ultimately we didn't really have a chance prior to that little result, did we? I mean, yesterday, the day before and all that lot, I was like, we're done on the league now. So it's the hope that kills you, isn't it? The hope absolutely took our legs from underneath us there. Get to half time at 0-0 and you think United could scratch this here. And then a stupid deflected goal from Xhaka where Ander Herrera turns his back. And we've been praising Herrera for weeks because quite rightly looked fantastic. If you're going to praise people, you also have to criticise them. And I think Ander Herrera let himself down there by turning his back like that, and the flukiest, bizarrest way of a ball going in ever with the way that ended up going into the back of the net. Danny Welbeck's was a decent goal, got no issue with that apart from Danny Welbeck scoring it, but ultimately I thought the team was strong and I was wrong massively about how some of those players performed today, and Smalling and Jones was very poor. Wayne Rooney compounding what we saw against Swansea where he offered absolutely nothing whatsoever defensively or offensively. Questioning whether or not that is he going to be around next year and is it a bad thing if he's not. Don't think he will and I don't think it is. The one positive from today, two really, Scott McTominay getting his debut, congratulations to him. The other one was Axel Tuanzebe, was arguably Manchester United's best player on the pitch today. Arguably. Find it hard to come up with somebody else who had such a consistent performance over the course of the 90 minutes. Axel was great. Absolutely great. I hope he's forced his way into changing Jose Mourinho's thoughts on playing youngsters. Those of us who watch the academy know that Tuanzebe has been knocking on the door for a long time. He was the first one that Louis van Gaal named on the bench, and then an injury prevented him from making his debut last year when the likes of Rashford and Fosu Mensah and Riley and Borthwick Jackson all got their opportunities. He was injured and he was out, and it took him this season to come back and really show what he could do, banging on that door again. And played out of position as a right back. Played out of position, still looking the most calm and collected. He's so much better as a centre half than he is as a full back. That is not his game. He's not someone who's got anything in his locker to be able to beat people, get on the overlap or anything like that. So you'll see a better Tuanzebe if he's ever played centre half. And do you know what? All we saw from Phil Smalling, from Phil Jones and Chris Smalling today was an advert for why they need to be moved on, and the likes of Fosu Mensah and Tuanzebe need to be given opportunities because he looked head and shoulders above them. If you'd have done a blind taste test on that and said, who's the most experienced pro of all these? You wouldn't have said Phil Jones and Chris Smalling. You'd have said Axel Tuanzebe. He was absolutely fantastic. Jose also tipping his hat to the youth and who can change the game towards the end there when he throws on Jesse Lingard and Marcus Rashford, looking for a goal, looking for something to happen. Ultimately, we wasn't capable. We didn't have it in us, and we wasn't able to score a goal, let alone find an equaliser. But do you know what? I can't get too overexcited, and I've seen a lot of people already getting giddy. I've seen even some people saying Jose out, and I just think I don't know what you've watched over the last few years if you think Jose out. I think Jose Mourinho's doing wonders, and like I do with all the managers, I think that you've got to give them time. And I think Jose Mourinho, given another window, is going to improve this squad to his liking. I've seen a couple of people say this, and I'm going to bandwagon it a little bit because I like what they're saying, and I get where they're coming from with it. Jose Mourinho took over this job for Manchester United in the summer, and there was a lot of people saying, big fan of Rooney is Jose, try to sign him at Chelsea. Rooney's going to be a key player for him. And he was a key player up until the derby when he benched him. There was a massive fuss, and he's essentially ghosted him out of the team to minimal of effort and minimal of fuss, actually. There's barely been a kick-off about it. I'm pretty sure Rooney's gone in the summer. I'm pretty sure wherever he is going has been sorted out and arranged, and is well underway come the end of the season, which is obviously fast approaching. And I think when he arrived, Jose brings in Ibrahimovic, knows that he's got Rashford, knows he's got Marshall, thinks he's got a Wayne Rooney of some sort of level, and Rooney's not been able to match up to that level that I think Jose thought he had. And I think if we'd have had that other centre forward, or even Rooney of a few years ago, we would have been comfortably inside the top 4, because the margin of error for us to be inside that top 4 is minuscule. And we're more than good enough for it. We're a match for Chelsea on our day, we're a match for Spurs on our day, we're better than City on our day, and nobody else in that top 4 is really head and shoulders above us. But consistency over the season and all the rest of that sort of stuff. Jose Mourinho's evolved how Manchester United play over the course of the season. He's evolved himself, he's changed himself, and he's changed us a little bit as well. As for going parking the bus, sometimes with the injuries that you've got and the level of experience and quality that you're missing, sometimes you have to do it. And people that want to rose tint it and say Sir Alex Ferguson played attacking football with wingers and every game was a 5-0 win and every player was someone that he birthed from his womb himself, they're deluded. Sometimes Fergie was pragmatic and looked after the decision first, especially at games against Arsenal and that away. And I think Jose probably had a decent plan to do that, but ultimately it didn't come off today, and that's just that. Like I said, I think he probably put a little bit of his eggs into the Europa basket, especially with resting Bailly and Pogba, arguably 2 of our best players this season, if not the 2 best players, along with Ander Herrera. They were rested. They're going to be key on Thursday. And I think that just shows you what Jose thinks is now definitely going to be the number 1 priority for us, which is to make sure we're in Stockholm in the final, and then that we're going to go and win the thing against what looks like it's going to be Ajax. It's a big ask for us, but I think we can do it. You know, it will be tough, but I do think Manchester United are capable of doing it. And we're going to find out if Manchester United are capable of doing it. No doubts about that whatsoever. I can't even get mad about today's game, you know, because ultimately a win against Manchester United at home might give Arsene Wenger a new contract, and that's worth celebrating for Manchester United fans. Wenger in to the very death, because the guy's absolutely useless. If Arsenal get rid of him, they could, well, one or two things could happen, couldn't it? One or two things could happen. If Arsenal get rid of him, they could get someone who's actually good and actually a threat. But I think more likely they'll suffer a sort of vacuum that United suffered under Sir Alex Ferguson's retirement, where you don't realise to what depths Arsene Wenger is involved in the club, and you have to get 5, 6, 7 different people to replace all the little roles that he just sort of does. And I think it's very difficult for someone that's been at the club for so long like that to be easily replaced in one window. So if they do replace him, they're not a threat potentially. If they don't replace him, well, they're obviously not a threat. So good news all round, whatever happens at Arsenal, especially if Sanchez goes, which looks increasingly likely. So I can't get mad about the result today, because I didn't really go in there expecting we was going to get 3 points to come away with and not achieve it. So I thought a draw at best today. Certainly think we're capable of getting a draw when we need one, but it wasn't to be. Focus now switches to Thursday night, Celta Vigo at Old Trafford under the lights. It's time for United to step up and show what we're made of, and maybe for Jose to find out what's capable for the rest of this team. I was a bit gutted and Matty Willett wasn't featured in the team today, and a couple of the others that have been knocking on the door from the under-23s. I hope that they get their opportunities now for the remaining games of the season, and Jose can start next season with a good transfer window, getting rid of some of the deadwood that requires it and bringing in some more of the players that he likes. If he has a transfer window like he had last summer, we're in for a hell of a ride. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments real quick. Both teams were shite, says Witness. Shut up, United should never park the bus, says Tiger T. Well, when you've finished primary school, mate, you might understand. Fergie did it when he needed to do it. Let's not pretend he didn't. Bullshit football, mate. It's Mourinho United, not Man United. I disagree. Ajax will win the final. Well, if they're in it, then they might have half a chance, won't they? Do I think we can attract players like Griezmann and Mbappe by playing this style of football? I don't. What are you talking about, style of football? What are you actually meaning by style of football? If you say we've played like this all season, because that's absolutely not the case, is it? Tuanzebe was my man of the match, says Joshua. I agree on that. I thought Tuanzebe was my man of the match. All about Europa now, says JP Devils. Marshall is not good enough, says Guledis. I disagree. He didn't have a great game today. I don't think any of the attacking players did today, but you have to question why they didn't have a good game. And I think another reason we saw again, no Pogba, no Party at Manchester United, because without him supplying the creativity, United are quite ordinary. And we haven't got an adequate replacement for him in the middle of the park at the moment. So I think, maybe a little bit more respect needs to be shown to Paul Pogba Tuanzebe and Bay, the future, says Alec. That'd be interesting to see. Marshall looks like he's low on confidence. Smalling and Rooney might just have to leave, says Zag. Rooney has to go, says FAK. Jose, stop parking fucking buses. He's done it, what, 2-3 times this season? Let's not pretend he's done it all season. People saying Jose out are deluded, says Janil. I'm going to have to agree. Europa League should be main priority now, says Ads. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to be from now on. And that will do from me. Adam's going to be here with his fan cam in a second. Then we'll have all the chaos from Arsenal and whatever else we can get out there as well. So stay tuned for all the fan cams. They'll be out as soon as possible. See you in a bit.